What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part today. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video we're taking a look at King Kong again, only this time we're going to be taking a look at the original King Kong that was released in 1933. It's funny because originally I always thought that Godzilla came before King Kong, not the other way around. But like I said, this movie came out in 1933 and focuses on three main characters throughout the entire story. We first have Carl, our movie director, who plans on shooting his next film on a mysterious island that no one has ever been before that is said to be home of a giant creature called Kong. We also have Anne, who is a small-time actress that Carl just hires right on the spot because he believes that she has a lot of potential for his next film. And finally, we have Jack, who was a sailor in the first film and not a screenwriter like what we saw in 2005. So one of the things that caught my attention is how some of these characters stay consistent to what we see in the 2005 remake. For Carl, he's still the eccentric movie director who knows an opportunity when it presents itself. As for Anne, there is a huge difference between this version and the 2005 remake. For one thing, 20% of her lines are pretty basic that any student actor could probably do it, while 80% of her lines involve her screaming bloody murder. So pretty much, she's the definition of a damsel in distress. I'm pretty sure this was some top level acting back in 1933, but it's nice to see how in 2005, Peter Jackson decided to add more personal struggle for this character that made her more relatable to audiences. Speaking of relationships, her bond with Kong is completely different from the remake. In 2005, we saw how Anne made a connection with Kong in a story that almost resembled Beauty and the Beast. But in 1933, Kong is pretty much a monster in this film who only sees Anne as his property. And as for Jack, there's a difference between both versions of this character. One big difference is how in the original King Kong, he is this tough blue-collared sailor that has this swashbuckling hero in him that awakens when Kong decides to kidnap Anne. As opposed to the 2005 remake, who can only be described as the little guy but soon rises to the occasion when it comes to rescuing Anne. But anyway, going back to Kong, while I didn't like how he was a single-minded monster, and I say monster because in 2005 they actually added more character to him, I was impressed with the overall effects. Not gonna lie, I have a huge respect for stop motion animation because it takes a lot of time and patience to make those movies, and I'm not the most patient person. But what also surprised me is how this movie uses some impressive green screen effects because I had no idea that this sort of technology existed back in 1933. Also, one of the things that caught me off guard is how the Kong theme that is played throughout the entire film can be heard beat for beat in the 2005 remake, which is pretty cool how there are certain aspects of the original King Kong that are referenced in Peter Jackson's version of the film. If you watch both films, you see how the remake pays homage to the original in terms of plot points, costumes and makeup, and even musical notes. So it's nice to see how Peter Jackson paid a lot of respect to what was established in 1933, but also added a lot more to make his movie more in depth in terms of storytelling. That's also another thing you should know is that this movie pretty much hits the ground running because the pacing is really fast. But I guess when you only have an hour and a half to entertain your audience, you gotta tell your story as fast as possible. Then again, this was probably the normal runtime for movies back in 1933. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie for mostly its special effects because I was just blown away to see how this film used both green screen effects and stop motion animation to tell a story that has stood the test of time. However, if I had a choice of watching either this or the remake, I'm probably going to watch the remake because you really do get more bang for your buck. But if you're interested in seeing where the King Kong franchise started, I highly recommend you watch this on HBO Max. Well, that's going to do for this video, guys. That was my overall review for the original King Kong. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.